it love, but was playing again. Hey, Sam. Hey, what's Sam? Look, I'm getting it. The quick step. Look now and tell me. Well?
Show me again.
Okay. Count for me.
Ready?
Ready.
5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Your shoulders, Willie. Don't look down, Willie. Look happy, Willie. Relax, Willie.
I am relaxed.
No, you are not.
You know, man, Sam, you mustn't talk. You make me make mistakes.
But you're too stiff.
Yesterday, I was more straight. Today, I'm too stiff.
Well, you are. You asked me, so I'm telling you.
Where?
Everywhere. Try to glide through it.
Glide?
Yeah, make it smooth and give it more style. It must look like you are enjoying yourself.
I wasn't.
Exactly.
How can I enjoy myself? Not straight, too stiff, and now it's also glide. Give it more style, make it smooth. Hi! It's hard to remember all these things, but Sam.
That's your trouble. You're trying too hard.
I try hard because it is hard.
But don't let me see it. The secret is to make it look easy. Ballroom must look happy, Willie. Not like hard work. Yeah, it must look like romance.
Now another one. What's romance?
Love story with happy ending. A handsome man in bells and in his arms, smiling at him. A beautiful lady in evening dress.
Brother Stare, Ginger Rogers.
You got it. Tap dance or ballroom. It's the same. Romance. In 2 weeks' time, when the judges see you and Hilda, they must see a man and a woman who are dancing their way to a happy ending. What I saw was you holding her like you were frightened she was going to run away.
Yeah, because that is what she wants to do. I've got no romance left for Hilda anymore, but Sam.
Then pretend. When you put your arms around Hilda, imagine she is Ginger Rogers.
With no teeth, you try.
Well, just remember, there are only 2 weeks left.
I know. I do it better with music. You've got 6 pence for Celavon.
That's a slow foxtrot. You're practicing the quick step.
I'll practice slow foxtrot.
It's your turn to put money in the jukebox.
I've only got the bus fare to go home. Love story and happy ending. She's doing it all right, but it's not giving me happy ending. Fucking hot. 3 nights now she doesn't come practice. I wind up gramophone. I get record ready. I sit and I wait. What happens? Nothing. 10 o'clock I start dancing with my pillow. You try romance by yourself, but Sam. Stroh's God. She doesn't come tonight. I take back my dress and ballroom shoes and find me a new partner. Dress size 26, shoe size 7. And now she's giving me trouble with the baby again. Reports me to child welfare, says I'm not giving her money. She lies. Every week I give her money for milk. And how do I know it's my baby? Only his hair looks like me. There she's fucking around all the time behind my back. Hey, hear that someone's a bitch. But Sam?
Yeah?
You listening?
Yeah.
So what you say?
About Hilda?
Yeah.
When was the last time you gave her a hiding?
Sunday night.
And today's Thursday.
Okay.
Hiding on Sunday nights, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she doesn't come to practice. And you are asking me why?
I said okay, but
You
Sam.
hit her too much. One day she's going to leave you for good.
So? She gives me the heading too much.
Too much and too high. You had the same trouble with Eunice.
Yeah, because she also gave me the heading too much. She never got the steps right, even the waltz.
Beating her up every time she makes a mistake in the waltz? No, Willie. That takes the pleasure out of ballroom dancing.
Hilda's not too bad with the waltz. It's the quick step when the trouble starts.
How's your pillow with the quick step?
Good. And why? Because it's got no legs. That's her trouble. She can't move them quick enough. I wind up gramophone, and before halfway, Count Basie is already winning. Only time we catch up is when gramophone runs down. Hey, Connor, put some. It's not funny.
I got it. Give her a handicap.
What's that?
Give her a 10-second start, then let Count Basie go. Then I put my money on her. Hot favorite in the ballroom stakes, Hilda Samuels, written by Willie Malopo.
I'm not talking to you no more.
Sorry, Willie.
It's over between us.
Okay, I'll stop.
You can also fuck off.
Listen, Willie, I want to help.
Okay, no more jokes.
I promise.
Help me.
Okay, look and learn. Feet together, back straight, body relaxed. Right arm placed gently in the small of her back and wait for the music. Don't start worrying about making mistakes or the judges or the other competitors. It's just you and Hilda, and you are going to have a good time. What Count Basie do you play?
With the cream in my coffee, the salt in my stew.
Right. Give it to me in strict tempo.
Ready?
Ready.
You the cream in my coffee, you the salt in my stew. You will always be my necessity. I'd be lost without you.
Bravo! No doubt about it. First place goes to Mr. Sam Samla.
He was gliding with style, but Sam.
How's it going, chaps?
Okay, Hally.
At your service, Master Hally.
Not long to the big event, eh?
2 weeks.
You nervous?
No.
You think you stand a chance?
Let's just say I'm ready to go out there and dance.
It looks like it. What about you, Willie? What's the matter?
He's got trouble with his legs.
Oh, Sam.
I'm sorry to hear that, Willie.
But Sam, you promised.
Bloody lousy weather. Talking about cats and dogs. Bad for business, but it means we're in for a nice, quiet afternoon.
You can talk loud. Your mom's not here.
Out shopping?
No, the hospital.
But it's Thursday. There's no visiting hours on Thursday afternoons. Is my dad all right?
Sounds like it. In fact, I think he's going home.
What do you mean?
The hospital phone.
To say what?
I don't know. I just heard your mom talking.
So what makes you think he's coming home?
It sounded as if they were telling her to go and fetch him.
When did she leave?
About an hour ago. She said she would phone. You want to eat? Hally, you want your lunch?
I suppose. What's on the menu? As if I don't know.
Soup followed by meat pie and gravy.
Today's?
No.
And the soup?
Nourishing pea soup.
Just the soup, then. And these?
For your dead. Mr. Gimstead brought them.
You haven't been reading them, have you?
Just looking.
Jungle Jim, Batman and Robin, Tarzan. God, what rubbish. Mental pollution, take them away. Did you hear my mom on the phone, Willie?
No, Master Hally. I was at the back.
She didn't say anything to you before she left?
She said I must clean the floors.
I mean about my dad.
She didn't say nothing to me about him, Master Hally.
No. It can't be. They said he needed at least another 3 weeks of treatment. No, Sam's definitely made a mistake. So, Willie.
Yes, Master Hally. Schooling okay today?
Yes. All right. No, not really. What does it matter? And Sam says you've got problems.
Big problems.
Which leg is sore? Both legs.
There's nothing wrong with my legs. Sam is just making jokes.
Then you will be in the competition.
Only if I can find a new partner.
But what about Hilda?
She's the one that's got trouble with her legs.
What do you mean, Willie?
From the way he described it, I think she has gone a bit lame.
Good God, man. Have you taken her to see a doctor?
I think a vet would be better.
What do you mean?
What do you call it again when a racehorse goes very fast?
Gallop.
That's it.
But Sam.
A gallop down the main track to the winning post. But what's that got to do with Hilda?
Count Basie always gets there first.
For Christ's sake, Willie! What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, Master Hally, but it's him.
Act your bloody age. Cut out this nonsense and get back to your work. And you too, Sam. Stop fooling around. No, wait. Tell me exactly what my mother said.
I have. When Hally comes home, tell him I've gone to the hospital and I'll phone him.
She didn't say anything about bringing my dad home.
No, it's just that when she was talking
No,
to me...
Sam, it can't be. She would have told me if it was. Besides, we saw him last night and he wasn't doing well at all. The staff nurses even said there was talk of even more x-rays. And now suddenly today he's better? No. If anything, it sounds like he's taken a bad turn to me. Which I seriously hope he hasn't. Hang on. When did you say she left?
A bit before 2, hour and a half.
I know how to solve it. Let's give her 10 minutes to get to the hospital. 10 minutes to load him up. Another 10 to get him home, and 10 at most to get him inside. It's 40 minutes. She should have been home for at least 30 minutes already. No answer. And do you know why? Because she's at the hospital by his bedside helping him pull through a bad turn. No, you definitely heard wrong.
Okay. Modern graded mathematics for standard 9 and 10. Willie. Who is this supposed to be?
Fart-faced Prentice.
Teacher?
He thinks he is, and believe me, it's not a bad likeness.
Has he seen it?
Yes.
What did he say?
Tried to be clever, as usual. Said I was no Leonardo da Vinci and that bad art has to be punished. Sir, 6 of his best, and his are bloody good.
On your bum?
Where else? The days I got them on my hands are forever gone, Sam.
With your trousers down?
No, he's not quite that barbaric.
That's the way they do it in jail.
Really?
Yeah, when the magistrate sentences you to strokes with a light cane.
Go on.
They make you lie down on a bench. One policeman pulls your trousers down and holds your ankles, and another one pulls your shirt over your head and holds your arms.
Thank you, that's enough.
And the one that gives you the strokes talks to you gently, and for a long time, and between each one.
For Christ's sake, Sam, I've heard enough. The world can be an awful place when you think of it, and people can be right bastards.
That's the way it is, Hally.
But it doesn't have to be that way. There is a thing called progress, you know. We don't exactly burn people at the stake anymore.
Like Joan of Arc.
Correct! If she were captured today, she would be given a fair trial.
And then the death sentence.
I know. I oscillate between hope and despair for this world as well. But we mustn't give up. One day, somebody is going to get up and give history a kick on the backside and get it going again.
Like who?
They're called social reformers. Every age, Sam, has its social reformer. My history book is full of them.
So where's ours?
That's a good question. And unfortunately, the answer is, I don't know. It could be that he hasn't been born yet. Or as a babe in arms at his mother's breast. God, what a thought.
So we just go on waiting?
Yeah, looks like it.
Introduction. Into mathematical problems, only the
magnitude.
What's it mean?
How big it is, the size of a thing.
The magnitude of these quantities are of importance. In other problems, we need to know whether these quantities are negative or positive. For example, whether there's a debit or credit bank balance.
Whether you're broke or not.
Whether the temperature is above or below 0.
Not degrees. Cheerful state of affairs. Got no money and you're freezing to death. Mathematics won't help you out of that one.
All these quantities are called SCALR.
Scalars.
Scalars. You understand all that?
No, and I don't intend to try.
So what happens when the exam comes?
Failing a maths exam isn't the end of the world, sir. How many times have I told you that exam results don't measure intelligence?
I would say about as many times as you failed one of them.
Ha ha ha. Just remember that Winston Churchill didn't do particularly well in school.
You've also told me that one many times.
Well, it just so happens to be the truth.
Magnitude. Magnitude. Show me how to use it.
An intrepid social reformer will not be daunted by the magnitude of the task he has undertaken.
Couple of jawbreakers in there.
I gave you 3 for the price of 1. Intrepid, daunted, and magnitude. I did that once on an exam. Used 5 of the words I needed to use in 1 sentence. It was half a page long.
Well, I'll put my money on you when the English exam comes.
A piece of cake. 80% without even trying.
And history?
So. I'll scrape through. In the 50s, if I'm lucky.
You didn't do too badly last year.
Well, that's because we had World War I. That at least had some action. You try finding that in the South African parliamentary system.
Napoleon and the principle of equality. Hey, this sounds interesting. After concluding peace with Britain in 1802, Napoleon used a brief period of calm to
introduce
many reforms. Napoleon regarded all people as equal and wanted them to have an equal opportunity for advancement. All vestiges of the feudal system with its oppression of the poor were abolished. Vestiges, feudal system and abolished? I'm all right on oppression.
I'm thinking. He was swept away, abolished. The last remains, vestiges, of the bad old days, feudal system.
There's the social reformer we're waiting for. He sounds like a man of magnitude.
I don't know about that. Damn good title for a book, though. Man of Magnitude.
He sounds pretty big to me, Hally.
Don't confuse historical significance with greatness. But maybe I'm being biased. You look in there and you'll see he's 2 chapters long. In hell, Sam, has he only got dates, all of which you've got to memorize. This campaign and that campaign. And then, because of all the fighting, the next thing you get is peace treaties all over the place. What's at the end of it? The Battle of Waterloo, which he loses. Now, I don't know about him as a man of magnitude.
Then who would you say he was?
Well, to answer that question, first we need a definition of greatness, which I suppose would be someone who benefited all mankind.
Right, but like who?
Charles Darwin. You remember him? That big book from the library, The Origin of the Species?
Him?
Yes, for his theory of evolution.
You didn't finish it.
I know. I ran out of time. My 2 weeks was up. I'm going to take it out again once I've digested what I've read. Don't worry, it's safe. I've hidden it away in the theology section. No one ever goes in there. And besides, who are you to talk? You hardly even looked at it.
I tried. I looked at the chapters in the beginning and I saw something called the struggle for an existence. Aha, I thought. But what did I get? Something called the mistletoe, and how it needs the apple tree, and how there are too many seeds, and all are going to die except one. No, Hally.
No? What do you mean, no? The poor man had to start somewhere, Sam. For God's sakes, you revolutionized science. Now we know.
What?
Where we all come from, and what it all means.
And that was a benefit to all mankind? Anyway, I don't believe it.
God, you're impossible. I showed it to you in black and white.
Doesn't mean I got to believe it.
It's the likes of you that kept the Inquisition in business. It's called bigotry. Anyways, that's my man of magnitude. Charles Darwin. Who's yours?
Abraham Lincoln.
I might have guessed as much. Don't get sentimental with me, Sam. You've never been a slave. Besides, we freed your ancestors here in South Africa long before the Americans. But if you want to thank someone on their behalf, do it to Mr. William Wilberforce. Come on now, try again. I want a real genius.
William Shakespeare.
Oh, so you're one of them, are you? You're basing that opinion on only one play. You've only ever read My Julius Caesar, and even I don't understand half the words. They should really do what they did with the old Bible. Bring the language up to date.
It's the only one you've got, and it's also the only one you've read.
I know! I admit it! That's why I suggest we reserve our judgment until we've had time to jack up on a few more. But I've got a feeling, though, that after 1 year, one will be enough for me. And I can give you the names of 29 other chaps from the Standard 9 class of the Port Elizabeth Technical College who feel the same. But if you want him, you can have him. All right, my turn. This is a damn good exercise. It started off looking like a simple question, but here it's got us really probing the intellectual heritage of our civilization.
So who will it be?
My next man, and he gets this title on 2 counts: literary reform, social reform, and literary genius, is Leo Nikolaevich Tolstoy.
That's Russian.
Correct. You remember that picture I showed you of him?
With the long beard.
And those burning, revolutionary eyes. My God, the face of a social prophet if I ever saw one. And remember what I said to you when I showed it to you? He's a man, Sam.
Those were words, Hally.
It's not every intellectual who's prepared to shovel manure with the peasants and then go home to write a little book called War and Peace. Incidentally, Sam, he was someone else who did not distinguish himself scholastically.
Meaning?
He was also no good at school.
Like you and Winston Churchill.
Ha ha ha. Don't get clever, Sam. That man freed his serfs of his own free will.
No argument. He was a somebody, all right? I accept it.
I'm sure Count Tolstoy will be very pleased to hear that. All right, Sam, your turn. Come on now, I'm waiting.
I've got him.
Good. Submit your candidate for examination.
Jesus.
Yes.
Who?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on, Sam.
The Messiah.
Yeah, but no, let's not get started on religion. I don't want to spend the whole afternoon arguing with you again. Suppose I were to turn around and say, Muhammad.
All right.
Well, you can't have both of them on the same list.
Why not? You like Muhammad. I like Jesus.
I don't like Muhammad. I never have. I was merely being hypothetical. No, the Quran is just as bad as the Bible in my book. Religion is out. I don't want to argue with you again about the existence of God. Besides, you know perfectly well I'm an atheist. And I've got homework to do.
Okay, I take him back.
All right, we've got time enough for one more name.
I've got one we'll agree on. A simple, straightforward, great man of magnitude, and no argument. And he really did benefit all mankind.
Really? After your last contribution, I'm beginning to wonder if anything in the way of intellectual agreement is possible between the two of us. Go on, who is he?
Guess.
Socrates. Alexander Dumas? Karl Marx? Dostoevsky? Nietzsche?
Oh, give me a hint. The letter P is important.
Plato!
And his name begins with an F.
I've got it. Freud and psychology.
I didn't understand him.
That makes 2 of us.
Think of moldy apricot jam.
Penicillin. Oh, in Sir Alexander Fleming in the title of the book, The Microbe Hunters. Splendid, Sam. Splendid, yes. The major medical breakthrough of the earliest 20th century. If it wasn't for him, we might have lost the Second World War. It is deeply gratifying, Sam, to know that I haven't been wasting my time in talking to you. Count Tolstoy may have educated his peasants, but I have educated you.
Standard 4 to standard 9.
Have we been at as long as that?
Yes, and my first lesson was geography.
Really? I don't remember.
My room there at the back of the old Jubilee boarding house. I had just started working for your mom. A little boy in short trousers walks in one afternoon and asked me seriously, "Hey, Sam, do you want to see South Africa?" Hey, man, sure I want to see South Africa.
Was that me?
So the next thing I'm looking at is a map you had just done for homework. It was your first one, and you were very proud.
Go on.
Then came my first lesson. Repeat after me, Sam. Gold in the Transvaal, mealies in the Free State, sugar in the Natal, and grapes in the Cape. I still know it.
Well, I'll be buggered. So that's how it all started.
And the next map was one with all the rivers and the mountains they came from. The Orange, the Vaal, the Limpopo, the Zambezi.
You've got a phenomenal memory.
You should be grateful. That is why you started passing your exams. You tried to be better than me.
The old Jubilee boarding house. 16 rooms with room and board. Rent 1 week in advance and 1 week's notice. God, I haven't thought about it in a donkey's years. I don't think that's an accident. Boy, was I glad when we sold it and moved out. Those years are not remembered as the happiest of an unhappy childhood.
Hally,
What's that supposed to be?
What you doing in there, Hally? Come out at once.
What's he talking about?
Don't you remember?
Sam, Willie, he's in there with you boys.
Hiding away in our room when your mother was looking for you.
Of course, I used to hide under your bed. But go on, Willie. Finish the story. Then what used to happen? You chaps would give the game away by telling her I was in there. So much for friendship.
We couldn't lie to her. She knew.
Which meant I got another rowing for hanging around the servants' quarters. God, I think I spent more time in there with you chaps than anywhere else in that house. And can you blame me? Bloody misery wherever you went. Someone was always complaining about the food, or my mom was having another fight with Mickey Nash for catching a petty officer in her room. Maud Marian was another one. You remember them? They were prostitutes, you know. Soldiers and sailors from the troop ships. A lot of them fell out of the business after the war ended. My God, the flotsam and jetsam that life washed up on our shores. You know, if it wasn't for your room, I think I would have been the first certified 10-year-old in medical history. Yeah, the memories are flooding back now. Walking home from school thinking, what am I going to do today? Trying a few things out, but sooner or later I'd end up in there with you chaps. You know, I still think I could find my way to it with my eyes closed. Down the hall, telephone on the right, which my mom keeps locked away because someone keeps using it and not paying. Into the kitchen with the unappetizing cooking smells. Out into the backyard, hold my breath again because there are more scents coming from your lavatory. Into the corridor, first door on the right, and into your room. How'd I do?
Good. But as usual, you forgot to knock.
Oh, right. You remember that time I got you and Cynthia at it? Remember? Oh, God, was I embarrassed. I didn't know what was going on at first.
Yeah, that taught you a lesson.
And a lot more than knocking on doors, and I'm not talking about geography either. Hell, Sam, couldn't you have waited until it was dark?
No.
Oh, was it really that urgent?
Yes, and if you don't believe me, wait until your time comes.
No, thank you. I am not interested in girls. A little cold, gray room with a cement floor. Your bed pushed up against the wall, and now we know why the mattress sags so much. Willie's bed is propped up on a stack of bricks because one leg is broken. In that wobbly little table with the wash bin and jug of water. Oh, yes, and above it are pin-up pictures from the magazines. Joe Louis.
From Burma. Well, Tyson, 3 rounds knockout.
Against who?
Max Smelling.
Correct! I can also remember Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. And Rita Hayworth in a bathing costume, which always made me hot and bothered whenever I looked at it. Under Willie's bed is his suitcase, with all his things in a mess, which is why I never hid there. Your things are kept nice and tidy in a trunk next to your bed. And on it is a picture of you and Cynthia in your ballroom clothes, holding a silver trophy for your for 3rd place in your first dancing competition. And an old radio which doesn't work anymore. Have I left anything out?
No.
Good. Enough with the stage directions and on to the characters. Willie is sitting on his bed, under the covers, complaining about something, but we can't make out what because his head is under the sheet as well. You're on your bed, trimming your toenails with a knife. Not a very edifying sight. And as for me, what am I doing?
You're sitting on that floor, giving Willie a lecture about being a good loser while you get the checkerboard and pieces ready for a game. Then you walk over to his bed, you pull his blanket off and make him play with you first because you know you're going to win, and that gives you the second game with me.
You certainly were a bad loser, Willie.
Hi.
And so slow. A game with you took up almost the whole afternoon. Thank God I gave up trying to teach you how to play chess.
Oh, and Sam cheated.
I never saw Sam cheat, and mine were mostly mistakes.
Then How is it you two were always winning?
Have you ever considered that we were simply better than you?
Every time better.
No, not every time. There were times when we deliberately let you win, so you would stop sulking and go on playing with us. Sam used to give me a wink when it was time to let you win.
So then you two didn't play fair.
It was for your benefit, Mr. Malopo, which is more than being fair. It was an act of self-sacrifice. But you know what my best memory is, don't you?
No.
Oh, come on. If you've got such a phenomenal memory, you must remember it as well.
We got up to a lot of tricks in there, Hally.
This one was special, Sam.
I'm listening.
It started off looking like another one of those useless, nothing-to-do afternoons. I had already been down Main Street looking for adventure, but nothing had happened. I didn't feel like climbing trees in Duncan Park or pretending to be a private eye and following a stranger, so, as usual, see what's going on in Sam's room. This time it was you, sitting on the floor, smoothing down two pieces of wood with a knife. It didn't look particularly interesting at first, but when I asked you what you were doing, you simply smiled and said, "Wait and see, Hally, wait and see," in that mysterious way of yours, so I knew you were up to something. You teased me, you bugger, by being deliberately slow and not answering my questions. And whistling while you worked. Oh, God, you were infuriating. I could have brained you. It was only when you tied the two pieces of wood together and placed it on the brown paper that I realized what you were doing. Sam is making a kite? And when you said yes, the sheer audacity of it, I mean, seriously, what the hell does a black man know about flying a kite? If I'm going to be honest, I had no hopes for it. If you think I was excited or happy, you've got another guess coming. In fact, I was shit scared that we were going to make fools of ourselves. When we left the boarding house to go up onto the hill, I was silently praying that there would be no other kids around to laugh at us.
Yeah, I could see that.
I made that obvious, did I?
Yeah, you refused to carry it.
And can you blame me? Do you remember what that thing looked like? Tomato box wood and brown paper, flour and water for glue, two of my mother's old stockings for a tail, and all those bits and pieces of strings that we tied together so that I could fly it. Hell no, Sam, that was only now asking for a miracle.
And the big argument when I told you to hold the string and run with it when I let it go.
I was ready to run, all right. Straight back to the boarding house.
So then what happened?
Oh, come on. You remember as well as I do.
I want to hear it from you.
You went a little way away from me down the hill. This is it, I thought. Like everything else in my life, here comes another fiasco. Then you shouted, "Go, Hally!" And I started to run. I don't know how to describe it, Sam. Yeah, the miracle happened. I was running, waiting for it to fall, when suddenly, behind me, there was something alive at the end of the string, tugging at it as if I wanted to be free. I looked back. I still can't believe my eyes. It was flying, looping and trying to climb even higher into the sky. You shouted at me to let it have more string. I did, until I was just holding that piece of wood that we had tied it to. You came up to me. You were laughing.
And so were you, and shouting, "It's worked, Sam. We've done it."
And we had. I was so proud of us. I wish there were hundreds of kids around to watch us. The part that scared me, though, was when you showed me how to make it dive down, and just as it was on the point of crashing, make it swoop up again.
You didn't want to try it yourself.
Of course not. I would have been suicidal if anything had happened to it. Watching you do it made me nervous enough. Now, I was just happy to see it up there with its tail waving behind it. You left me after that, didn't you? You showed me how to get it down, and we tied it to the bench so that I could watch it. And then you went away. I wanted you to stay, you know. I was sort of scared having to look after it by myself.
I had work to do, Hally.
It was sad bringing it down, Sam. And it looked sad again on the ground, just like something had lost its soul. Just tomato box wood and brown paper, and two of my mother's old stockings for a tail. But hell, Sam, I'll never forget that first moment I saw it up there. I had a stiff neck the next day from looking up so much. Why did you make that kite, Sam?
I can't remember.
Truly?
Too long ago, Hally.
Yeah, I suppose so. About time for another one, you know?
Why do you say that?
It just feels like that. Wouldn't be a good day to fly it, though.
No, you can't fly kites on rainy days.
How old are you, Sam?
25.
Strange, isn't it?
What?
You and me,
What's strange about it?
a little white boy in short trousers and a black man old enough to be his dad flying a kite. It's not every day you see that.
But why strange? Because the one is white and the other black?
No, I guess it would be just as strange to see me and my dad doing it. A cripple man and a little boy. No, I don't think there's any chance of me flying a kite without it being strange. There's a good short story in there, though. The Kite Flyers. But we'd have to find a twist in the ending.
Twist?
Yes. The way that it ended with us was too straightforward. It's me on the bench and you going back to work. There's no drama in that.
And me?
You?
Yes, me.
You want to get in on it as well, do you? I've got it. Change the title. Afternoons in Sam's Room. Yeah. We expand it to tell all our stories. It's on its way to being a novel. Our days in the old Jubilee. Sad in a way that they're over. I almost wish we were still in that little room.
We're still together.
That's true. It's just that life felt the right size in there. Not too big, not too small. It wasn't so hard to work up a bit of courage. Everything's got so bloody complicated since then.
St. George's Park, tearoom. Hello, madam. Yes, madam, he's here. Hally, it's your mother.
Where's she phoning from?
Sounds like the hospital. It's a public telephone.
You see, I told you! Hello, Mom. No, everything's under control here. How are things with poor old Dad? What? Oh, God, yes. Sam told me, but I was sure he made a mistake. But what's this all about, Mom? He didn't look good at all last night. Well, then very obviously you must say no. Be firm with him. Put your foot down. You know what it'll be like if he comes home. Well, then don't blame me if I fail my exams at the end of the year. Yes. How am I expected to be fresh for school when I spend half the night massaging his gammy leg? So do I. Then tell him a little white lie. Say, Dr. Coleman wants more x-rays of his stump, or bribe him. Tell him we'll sneak double tots of brandy to him in the future. What's that? Order him back to bed at once. If he's going to act like a child, treat him like one. All right, Mom. I was only trying to... I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Oh, all right, just give me your number so I can phone you back. Here we go again. Sorry, Mom. All right. All right, now, listen carefully to me. All it takes is for you to put your foot down. Don't take no for an answer. And whatever you do, don't discuss it with him. Because I'm afraid you'll give in to him. Yes, Sam gave me lunch. Yes, I ate all of it. No, Mom, not a soul. still raining here. Alright, I'll tell them. Alright, just remember, whatever you do, don't listen to a word he says. And phone me back to let me know what happens. Alright. Bye. My mom says that when you're done with the floors, you're to do the windows. Don't get me wrong, chaps. All I want is for him to get better, and if he was, I would be the first person saying bring him home. But he's not. And we don't have the medical care and attention that he needs here at home. It's what hospitals are there for. So don't just stand there, get on with it. You heard right, my dad wants to come home.
Is he better?
No. How could he be better when just last night he was groaning with pain? This is not an age of miracles.
Then he should stay in hospital.
Tell me something I don't know, Sam. What the hell do you think I was saying to my mom? All I can say is, fuck it all.
I'm sure he'll listen to your mom.
You don't know what she's up against. He's already packed his pajamas and his shaving kit and is sitting on his bed, ready to go. I know him when he gets in that mood. If she tries to argue with him, we've had it. She's no match for him in a battle of words. He'll tie her up in knots.
I suppose it gets lonely for him in there.
With all the patients and nurses around, regular visits from the Salvation Army, bowls. It's 10 times worse for him at home. I'm at school and Mom is here in the business all day.
He's at least got you at night.
And we've got him. Please, Sam, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Life is just a bloody mess and people are fools.
Come on, Hally.
Yes, they are, and they bloody well deserve what they get.
Then don't complain.
Don't try to be clever, Sam. It doesn't suit you. Anybody who thinks that there's nothing wrong with this world just needs to have their head examined. Just when things are going on all right, someone or something will come along without fail and spoil everything. Someone should write that down as a fundamental rule of the universe. The principle of perpetual disappointment. If there is a God who created this world, he should scrap it and try again.
All right, Hally. All right. What you got for homework?
Bullshit as usual. Write 500 words describing an annual event of historical or cultural significance.
That should be easy enough for you.
And also plain bloody boring. You know what they want, don't you? One of their useless old holidays. The commemoration of the landing of the 1820 settlers, or if it's going to be culture, carols by candlelight every Christmas.
It's an impressive sight. It makes a good description, Hally. All the candles glowing in the dark and the people singing hymns.
And it's called religious hysteria. Please, Sam, I'm not in the mood for games this afternoon. And remember my mother's words, you're to help Willie with the windows. Come on now, I don't want any more nonsense in here.
Okay, Hally. Okay. Well, go on, you try it. Good, but just a bit quicker on the turn and only move into her after she's crossed over. What about this one? Ready? Okay. Much better. You see what happens when you just relax and enjoy yourself. Remember that in 2 weeks' time, and you'll be all right.
But I haven't got partner but Sam.
Maybe Hilda will turn up tonight.
No, I gave her a good hiding.
You mean a bad one?
Good bad one.
And you mustn't complain either. Now you pay the price for losing your temper.
I also paid £2 10 shilling entrance fee.
They'll refund you if you withdraw now.
You mean don't dance?
Yes.
No. I wait too long and I practice too hard. If I find me a new partner, you think I can be ready in 2 weeks? I talked to madam for my leave today and practice every day.
Quick step non-stop for 2 weeks. World record Willie. But you'll be mad in the end.
No jokes, but Sam.
I'm not joking.
So then what?
Find Hilda, say you're sorry, and promise you won't beat her again.
No.
Then withdraw. Try again next year.
No.
Then I give up.
I gonna, but Sam, you can't.
What do you mean I can't? I'm telling you, I give up.
No. It was you who started me ballroom dancing.
So?
Before that, I used to be happy. And then it was you and Miriam who bring me to Hilda and say, here's partner for you.
What are you saying, Willie?
You.
But me what? To blame?
Yes!
Ha ha ha! Willie!
And now all you do is make jokes at me. Just you watch. When Miriam leaves you, it's my turn to laugh. Ha, ha, ha.
She can leave me tonight. I know what to do. May I have the pleasure? Just a fellow with his pillow, dancing like a willow in an autumn breeze.
There you go again. Go
There's
Sam.
the answer to your problems. Judge's announcement in 2 weeks' time. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners in the open section, Mr. Willie Malopo and his pillow.
Hey, come on,
Hey,
Sam!
Willie!
Hey,
Willie!
for Christ's sake, you two!
I don't know you, Sam. Stroh's God.
Sorry, Willie, sorry.
Sam, Willie!
Hey!
How the hell am I supposed to concentrate with the two of you behaving like bloody children?
Hit him too.
Shut up, Willie!
He started jokes again.
Get back to work! You two, Sam. You want another one, Willie? Suppose the customer had walked in then, or the park superintendent, and had seen the two of you behaving like a pair of bloody hooligans. That would have been the end of my mother's license, you know. And your jobs. Well, it ends today. There will be no more of your ballroom nonsense in here. This is a business establishment, not a bloody New Brighton dancing school. And I've been far too lenient with the two of you. But what really makes me bitter is that I allow you chaps a little freedom in here when the business is bad. And what do you do with it? The foxtrot. Especially you, Sam. There's more to life than just trotting around the dance floor, and I thought at least you knew that.
It's a harmless pleasure, Hally. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Also a rather simple one, you know.
You reckon so? Have you ever tried it?
Of course not.
Why don't you? Now.
What? Me? Dance?
Yes, I'll show you a simple step, the waltz, then you try it.
And what will that prove?
That it might not be as easy as you think.
I never said easy. I said simple. As in simple-minded, meaning mentally retarded. Can't exactly say it challenges the intellect.
It does other things.
Such as?
Make people happy.
So do American cream sodas with ice cream. Not seriously asking me to take ballroom dancing seriously.
Yes.
Oh well. I give up. So much for trying to give you a decent education. Obviously, I've achieved nothing.
You still haven't told me what's wrong with admiring something that's beautiful than trying to do it yourself.
Nothing. But we happen to be talking about a foxtrot, not a thing of beauty.
But that is just what I'm saying to you. If you were to see two champions doing two masters of the art.
So it's art now.
Yeah.
There's a limit, Sam. Don't confuse art and entertainment.
What is art?
You want a definition?
Yeah.
Well, philosophers have been trying to do that for centuries. What is art? What is life? But basically, I suppose, it's the giving of meaning to matter.
Nothing to do with beautiful?
Well, it goes beyond that. It's giving form to the formless.
Well, maybe it's not art, but I still say it's beautiful.
I'm sure the word you mean to use is entertaining.
No. Beautiful. And if you don't believe me, come along to the Centenary Hall in New Brighton in 2 weeks' time.
What for? I have seen you two trotting around here often enough.
This isn't the real thing, Hally. We're just playing around in here.
So I can use my imagination.
And what do you get?
A lot of people dancing around having a so-called good time.
That's it?
Surely it's that, basically.
No, it isn't. Your imagination hasn't helped you at all. There's a lot more to it than that. There's going to be a lot of people, all right, and they are going to have a good time. But there'll only be spectators sitting around and watching. It's just the competitors out there on the dance floor. Party decoration and fancy lights all around the walls. The ladies in beautiful evening dresses.
My mom has one of those dresses, Sam, and quite frankly, it's an embarrassment every time she wears it.
Your imagination left out the excitement. Oh, yes. The finalists aren't going to just be here to have a good time. One of those couples will be the 1950 Eastern Province Open Ballroom Dancing Championships. And finally, your imagination left out the music.
Ha! Mr. Elijah Gladman Guzana in his orchestral jazzonian.
The sound of the big band, Hally, trombone, trumpet, tenor, and alto sax. And finally, your imagination left out the climax of the evening. When the dancing is finished, and the judges have stopped whispering among themselves, and the master of ceremonies collects the scorecards and goes onto the stage to announce the winners.
All right. So you make it sound like a bit of a do. It's an occasion, satisfying.
So you admit that?
Emotionally, yes. Intellectually, no.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that. All I'm telling you is that this is going to be the event of the year, New Brighton. It's been sold out for 2 weeks already. There's only standing room left. We've got competitors coming from King Williamstown, Port Alfred, East London.
Tell me more.
I thought you weren't interested intellectually.
I've got my reasons.
What do you want to know?
It takes place every year.
Yes, but only every third year, New Brighton. It's East London's turn to have the championships next year.
Which I suppose would make it an even more significant event.
We're getting somewhere. Our occasion is now a significant event.
I wonder.
What?
I wonder if I would get away with it.
But what?
Write 500 words describing an annual event of historical or cultural significance. Would I be extending poetic license too far in calling your ballroom championships a significant event?
You mean?
Do you think we could get 500 words out of it, Sam?
Victor Sylvester has written a whole book on ballroom dancing.
You're going to write about it, Master Hally.
Yes, gentlemen, that is exactly what I am considering doing. Old Doc Bromley, he's my English professor, will argue with me, of course. He doesn't like the natives. But I will explain to him in strict anthropological terms that the culture of a primitive black society includes its singing and dancing. My thesis in a nutshell. The war dance has been replaced by the waltz, but it still amounts to the same thing. A release of primitive emotions through movement. Shall we give it a go?
I'm ready.
Me also.
This will show that old bugger. Let's get organized. Now, I think you've given me enough general atmosphere, but to build tension and suspense, I need facts.
Give him Foxport song.
What do you call the climax? How many finalists?
6 couples.
Go on. Give me the picture.
Spectators seated around the hall.
And it's a full house.
At one end of the stage is Gladman and his orchestral jazzonians. At the other end is a long table with 3 judges. The finalists go onto the dance floor and take up their positions. When they are ready and the spectators have settled down, the master of ceremonies goes to the microphone. To start with, he makes some jokes to get the people laughing.
Good touch. Creating a relaxed atmosphere, which will change to one of drama and tension as the climax is approached.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come now to the great moment you have all been waiting for this evening. The finals of the 1950 Eastern Province Open Ballroom Dancing Championships. But first, let me introduce the finalists. Mr. and Mrs. Welcome Chabalala from King Williamstown.
Oh, Chabalala! Hey, Master Hally, this is when we make a lot of noise and clap our hands and whistle.
Mr. Mulligan Tikelani, Miss Noni Community of Grandstown.
Ah, wow!
Mr. and Mrs. Norman Chinga from Port Albert.
Chinga!
Mr. Fax Bokolani, Miss Dina Flatty from East London.
Fax, hey!
Mr. Sifo Dugo, Mrs. Mabel Magada from Betty. And from New Brighton, our very own Mr. Willie Malopo and Miss Hilda Samuel.
Relaxed and ready to romance.
When the applause dies down and everybody is silent, Gladman lifts up his sax and nods at the orchestral jazzonians.
Ready to box, please, but Sam?
I've also only got bus fare, Willie.
Hold it, everyone. How much is still in the till, Sam?
3 shillings, Hally. Your mom counted it before she left.
Sorry, Willie. You know how she carried on the last time we did it? We'll just have to pool our combined imaginations and hope for the best. Come on, back to work. How are points scored, Sam?
Maximum of 10 points each for individual style, deportment, rhythm, and general appearance.
Must I start?
Hold on a second, Willie. In penalties?
For what?
Say you do something wrong. Say you stumble or bump into somebody. Do they take off any points?
Hally.
Well, if you and your partner collide into another couple,
If me and Miriam bump into you and him, Hally.
What? What did I say?
There's no collisions out there, Hally. Nobody trips or stumbles or bumps into anybody else. That is what the moment is all about. To be one of those finalists on the dance floor is like being in a dream about a world in which accidents don't happen.
Jesus, that's beautiful, Sam.
I'm starting.
Of course it is. That is what I've been trying to say to you all afternoon. It's beautiful because it is what we want life to be like. But instead, like you said, Hally, we're bumping into each other all the time. Look at the 3 of us this afternoon. I bumped into Willie. The 2 of us have bumped into you. You bumped into your mother. She's bumping into your dad. None of us knows the steps, and there's no music playing. But it doesn't just stop with us. The whole world is doing it all the time. Open a newspaper, and what do you read? America has bumped into Russia. England is bumping into India. Rich men bumps into poor men. Those are big collisions, Hally. They make for a lot of bruises. People get hurt in all that bumping, and we're sick and tired of it now. It's been going on for too long, and we're never going to get it right. Learn to dance like champions, instead of being just a bunch of beginners at it.
You've got a vision, Sam.
Not just me. What I'm saying to you is that we've all got it. That's why there's only standing room left in the Centenary Hall in 2 weeks' time. For as long as the music lasts, we are going to see 6 couples get it right, the way we want life to be.
But is that the best we can do, Sam? Just watch 6 finalists dreaming of the way things should be?
I don't know, but it starts with that. Without the dream, we won't know what we're going for. But anyway, I reckon there are a few people who have gone past just dreaming about it and are pushing for something real. Remember the thing we read in the paper about the Mahatma Gandhi going without food to stop those riots in India?
You're right. He certainly was showing the people how to get the steps right.
And the Pope.
Him too. And our old General Smuts, he's also out there dancing. You know, when you think of it, that's what the United Nations boils down to. A dancing school for politicians.
And let's hope they learn.
You're right. We mustn't give up. Maybe there is some hope for mankind after all. Keep it up, Willie. Boy, this is bigger than I thought. So what have we got? Let's see. Yes, title. A world without collisions.
A world without collision.
The subtitle? Global Politics on the Dance Floor. No, that's a bit too heavy, eh? What about ballroom dancing as a political vision?
St. George's Park tearoom. Yes, here. Hally, it's your money.
Shit. You remember what I was saying? Just as things are going on, all right, someone or something will come along and ruin everything.
You haven't heard what he's got to say yet.
Public telephone?
No.
Does she sound happy or unhappy?
I couldn't tell. She's waiting, Hally.
Hello, Mom? Everything's fine here, just doing some homework. What's that? What's your news? With what? No, I'm still here. Oh, well, I give up now, Mom. Why'd you do it? Well, I hope you know what you've let us in for. I said, I hope you know what you've let us in for. It's the end of the peace and quiet we've been having. Where is he? Good, he can't hear us from there. What the hell happened, Mom? I told you to be firm with him. Then you and the nurses should have held him down and taken his crutches away. I know only too well he's my father. No, I'm not being disrespectful, but I'm sick and tired of emptying stinking chamber pots full of phlegm and piss. Yes, I do. When you're not there, he asks me to do it. If you really want to know, that's why I've got no appetite for my food. Yes, well, there are a lot of things that you don't know about. For instance, I still haven't gotten that science textbook I need. And do you know why? Because he borrowed the money you gave me for it. Because I don't want to start another fight between you two. He says that every time. And just remember to hide your bag away again, because he'll be at your purse before long looking for money for booze. And when he's well enough to come down here, you better keep an eye on the till as well, because that's going to develop a leak. Well, then don't blame me when he starts his old tricks. Yes, you do. I get it from you on the one side and him on the other, and it makes life hell for me. I'm not doing it anymore. When you two start fighting, I'm leaving home. Mom, if you start crying, I'm going to put down the phone. All right, Mom, I heard you. No, because I don't want to. I'll see him again when I get home. Mom! Hello, chum? What's that, Dad? No. Everything's all right here. You being home is just about the best news in the world. I bet you are. Bloody depressing there with everyone going on about their ailments, eh? How are you feeling? Good. Yeah, no, same here. Coming down cats and dogs, yes. Just the day for kipping the toss in your old Uncle Ned. No, everything's all right on my side, Dad. Everything's hunky-dory. Well, to start with, there's a nice pile of comics for you on the table. Yes, old Temple brought them in. Batman and Robin, Submariner. Just your cup of tea. Yes. I will. We'll spin a few yarns tonight. No, I promise. I'll come straight home. All right. Mom? I'll just lock up now and go home. What's that? Oh, yes. The brandy, of course. I'll put it in my bag now, for God's sakes. I know well enough what will happen if he doesn't get it. I was kind to him, Mom. I didn't say anything nasty. All right. Bye.
sounded like a bad bump, Hally.
Mind your own business, Sam.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to interfere. Shall we carry on, Hally?
Tell him about when they give out the cups, what, Sam?
Yeah, that's another big moment. The presentation of the cups after the winners have been announced. You've got to put that in.
A big silver one, Master Hally, called floating trophy for the champions.
We always invite a big shot personality to hand them over. Guest of honor this year is going to be His Holiness Bishop Jubilani of the All-African Free Zionist Church.
So much for a bloody world without collisions.
Too bad. It was on its way to being a good composition.
Stop bullshitting ourselves, Sam.
Have we been doing that?
Yes. That's exactly what all this talk of a decent world has been. Just so much bullshit.
We did say it was only still a dream.
A bloody useless one at that. Life's a fuck-up and that's never going to change.
Yeah, well, maybe that's true.
No, there's no maybe about it. It's a blunt and brutal fact. All we've done this day is waste our time.
Not if we got your homework done.
I don't give a shit about my homework, so just shut up about it. Come on. Let's finish up. I want to lock up and go. And then go where? Home sweet fucking home. Jesus, I hate that word. You really want to know what's wrong with your lovely little dream, Sam? It's not just that we all happen to be bad dancers. That is perfectly true, but you've left something out. You forgot about the cripples.
Hally.
Yeah, can't leave them out. That's why we always end up on our backsides on the dance floor. They're also out there, like a bunch of broken little spiders trying to do the quick step. It's a bloody comical image when you think about it. Why are you shaking your head? Come on, man, picture it. For once this afternoon, let's use our imagination sensibly.
Be careful, Hally.
Of what? The truth? I seem to be the only one around here who's prepared to face it. We've had the lovely little dream. Now it's time to wake up and see things how they really are. Nobody knows the steps, there's no music, and the cripples are also out there, tripping everybody up and trying to get in on the action, and it's called the all-comers how to make a fuck-up of a life championships. And wait, Sam, the best bit is still coming. Do you want to know what the winner's trophy is? A big, beautiful chamber pot with roses on the side, and it's full to the brim with piss! And guess who I think's going to be this year's winner?
Stop now!
Why?
Hally, it's your father you're talking about.
So?
Do you know what you've been saying? No, Hally. You mustn't do it. Take back those words and ask for forgiveness. It's a terrible sin for a son to mock his father with jokes like that. You'll be punished if you carry on. Your father is your father, even if he is a crippled man.
Yes, Master Hally, it's true what Sam said.
I understand how you are feeling, Hally.
No, you don't!
I think I do.
No, you don't. Nobody does. It's your turn to be careful now, Sam. Very careful. You leave me and my father alone.
I'm not the one who's been saying things about him.
What goes on between me and my dad is none of your business.
Then don't tell me about it. If that's all you've got to say about him, I don't want to hear.
Just get on with your bloody work and shut up!
Swearing at me won't help you.
Yes, it does. Mind your own fucking business and shut up.
Okay. If that's the way you want it, I'll stop trying.
Good. Because what you've been trying to do is meddle in something that you know nothing about. All that concerns you in here, Sam, is to do what you get paid for, which is to keep the place clean and to serve the customers. In other words, just get on with your job. My mother is right. She's always going on about letting you two get too familiar. But this time, you've gone too far. You're only a servant in here, and don't you forget it. And as far as my dad is concerned, all that you need to remember is that he is your boss.
No, he isn't. I get paid by your mother.
Don't argue with me, Sam.
Then don't say he's my boss.
He's a white man, and that's good enough for you.
I'll try to forget you said that.
Don't. Because you won't be doing me any favors if you do. I'm telling you to remember it.
Hally, come on. You're right. We are on dangerous ground, and if we're not careful, somebody is going to get hurt.
Well, it won't be me.
Don't be so sure.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
Jesus, I wish you would stop telling me what I do and what I don't know.
Let's finish up and go.
Turn your back on me.
Don't do that, Hally. All right. Well, I'm listening. What do you want to say to me?
Well, to start with, why don't you start calling me Master Harold like Willie does?
Do you mean that?
Why the hell do you think I said it?
And if I don't?
You just might lose your job.
If you make me call you it once, I'll never call you anything else ever again.
Is that a threat?
Just telling you what will happen if you make me do it. You must decide what it means to you.
Well, I have. And it's good news. Because that's exactly what Master Harold wants. Think of it as a little lesson in respect, Sam, one that's long overdue. And I can tell you right now that someone who will be glad I finally gave it to you is my dad. Yes, he agrees with my mom. He's always going on about it as well. You must learn to show the boy. You must teach the boys to show you more respect, my son.
So now you can stop complaining about going home. Everybody is going to be happy tonight.
Perfectly correct, Sam. You see, you mustn't get the wrong idea about me and my dad. We have our good times too, plenty of bloody good laughs. You want to know what his favorite joke is? He lets out a big groan and goes, "It isn't fair, is it, Hally?" And then I have to go, "What chum?" And then he goes, "A nigger's arse," and we both have a good, long laugh. What's the matter, Willie? Did you get the joke? It's what's called a pun, you see. Fair means both light and color and just indecent. I thought you would catch it, Sam.
Oh, yeah. I catch it, all right.
It didn't appeal to your sense of humor?
You really laugh?
Of course.
To please him?
For
To make him feel good?
For heaven's sake, no, I laugh because it's a bloody good joke.
You're really trying hard to be ugly, aren't you? And why drag poor Willie into it? He's done nothing to you except show you the respect that you want so badly. And that's also not being fair, you know, and I mean just or decent.
It's all right, Sam. Leave it now.
It's me you're after. You should have just said Sam's us because that's the one you've been trying to kick so badly. And anyway, how do you know it's not fair? You've never seen it. Do you want to? Have a real good look. A real basuro's us. Which is about as nigga as they can come. Satisfied. Now you will be even happier when you go home tonight. Tell your father, I showed you my ass. And he is quite right. It's not fair. And if it will give him an even better laugh next time, I'll also let him have a look. Come on, Willie. Let's finish up and go.
Sam.
Yeah. Well, you've done it, Master Harold. Yes. I'll start calling you that from now on. It won't be difficult anymore. You just hurt yourself, Master Harold. I saw it coming. And I warned you, but you wouldn't listen. You've hurt yourself bad. And you're a coward, Master Harold. The face you should be spitting in is your father's, but you use mine instead because you think you're safe inside your fair skin. And this time I don't mean just or decent. Should I hit him, Willie?
No, but Sam.
Why not?
It won't help
I
us.
don't want to help him. I want to hurt him.
You also hate yourself.
And if he had done it to you, Willie?
Me? Hey, spit at me like I was a dog. Yeah, I want to hit him. I want to hit him hard. But maybe all I can do is go cry at the back. He's a little boy, but Sam. Little white boy. Long trousers now. But still little boy.
You're right. So go on then. Grown again, Willie. You do it better than me. You don't know all of what you've just done, Master Harold. It's not that you've made me feel dirtier than I've ever been in my life. I mean, how do I wash off yours and your father's filth? I've also failed. A long time ago, I told myself I was going to try and do something. But you have just shown me, Master Harold, that I've failed. I've also got a memory of a little white boy when he was still wearing short trousers and a black man, but then not flying a kite. It was the old Jubilee day. After dinner one night, I was in my room, and you came in and was looking down at the ground. And only after I asked you what you wanted, what was wrong. I don't know how many times did you speak, and even then so softly I almost didn't hear you. Sam, please go with me to fetch my dad. Remember, he was dead drunk on the floor at the Central Hotel bar. A phone for your mom, but you were the only one at home. And do you remember how he did it? You went in first to ask permission for me to go into the bar. Then I loaded him onto my back like a baby and carried him back to the boarding house, with you following behind, carrying his crutches. A crowded Main Street, with all the people watching a little white boy following his drunk father on a nigger's back. I felt for him, Master Harold. I felt for that little boy.
I love him, Sam.
I know you do. That's why I tried to stop you from saying those things about him. It could have been so simple if you could have just despised him for being a weak man. But he's your father. And you love him. You're ashamed of him. You're ashamed of so much, and now that's going to include yourself. After that, we went back into my room, and you sat in a corner and carried on, just looking down at the ground. And for days after that, you hadn't done nothing wrong, but you went around as if you owed the world an apology for being alive. I didn't like seeing that. That's not the way a boy grows up to be a man. But the one person who should have been teaching you what that means was the cause of your shame. If you really want to know, that is why I made you that kite. I wanted you to look up, to be proud of something, of yourself. And you certainly were that when I left you up there with it. Oh yeah. Something else. If you ever do write it as a short story, there was a twist in our ending. I couldn't sit down there with you with it. It was a whites-only bench. You are too young, too excited to notice then, but not anymore. If you're not careful, Master Harold, you're going to be sitting up there by yourself for a long time to come. And there won't be a kite in the sky.
bad. Is all bad in here.
Could you walk up and look after the keys, Willie?
Okay.
Don't forget the comic books. Stop. Hally. I've got no right to tell you what's being a man means if I don't behave like one myself. And I'm not doing too well at it this afternoon. Shall we try again, Hally?
Try what, Sam?
Fly another kite, I suppose. It's worked once, and this time I need it just as much as you do.
It's raining. You can't fly kites on rainy days, remember?
So what do we do? Hope for better weather tomorrow?
Don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
You sure of that, Hally? That would be pretty hopeless if it was true. It would mean nothing has been learnt in here this afternoon, and there was a hell of a lot of teaching going on one way or another. But I don't believe you. I reckon there's one thing that you do know. You don't have to sit up there by yourself. You know what that bench means now, and you can leave it at any time you choose. All you have to do is just stand up and walk away from it.
Is that right, Sam? Is going to be okay tomorrow? Look, Sam, you're right. I think about it and you're right. Tonight, I go back to Hilda and say sorry and make promise I won't beat her no more. You hear me, Sam?
I hear you, Willie.
And when we dance, I relax and romance and dance with her from beginning to end. Don't stop. Hey, just you watch. 2 weeks' time. First prize for promising newcomers. Mr. Willie Maloko and Miss Hilda Samuels. To hell with it. I walk home. How did you say it, Sam? Let's dream.